Welcome back to a little bit of cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast. An 11-game win streak for the Milwaukee Brewers. Sam has a big weekend coming up. Everything's hot in the streets. It was hot yesterday. Got a lot of rain with it as well. But the summer is in full swing, and the Milwaukee Brewers are as well. And I'm going to lead off the show here with this. I looked up, I just Googled who is the best team in baseball right now. And I'll say it, I'm pissed. Google AI, actually, which you can look it up yourself as well. Maybe your AI does it too. But it says that the Chicago Cubs have the best record in Major League Baseball right now, which is blatantly false because the Milwaukee Brewers have a 1-game lead on them in the NL Central. I had the records pulled up here. It's 61 wins, I think. Yeah, 61 and 41 for Milwaukee. Chicago's 60 and 42. And Google Gemini AI can't figure it out. So, you know how I was worried about AI and the robots taking over before? I'm not. They don't know things. They don't know the facts. The Brewers, I mean, they can't do simple mathematics here. Or maybe just common knowledge that right now the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team in Major League Baseball. And Sam, I'll kind of lead off the show with this. I've heard a lot of the comparisons in the past couple weeks to 2018 and how awesome that season was, how great that team was. That was a team that did it with the bat. They could hit up and down the lineup. You had 30 home run guys. You had all-stars, and you just figured it out with pitching. Like you had Jhoulys Chacin was your ace for that stretch and took you to 1 game away from the World Series. Wade Miley put the team on his back in that postseason. Right, these are names that's not, you don't think it's going to get to you to a World Series, but it almost did for Milwaukee. And now, this is a team, this 2025 Milwaukee Brewers, they have it with the pitching and maybe a little bit more random with the hitting. Do you think we're reaching this stratosphere? This is weird because just a couple of months ago, this was not the conversation at all. We had the conversation that this is the most uninspired Brewers team that we had seen in the past 8 years. And now, look at how hot things go. You have an 8-game win streak. You rattle off another 11 games. You send your 23-year-old hot shot to the All-Star game. He continues to pitch well. Woodruff comes back. Is this right now, or does it have the possibility to be one of the best Brewers teams that we've seen? And how does it kind of stack up to that 2018 team?
I think this is the best team ball I've seen. Now, this is still a hot streak. Yeah. I think we can confidently say this is a really good team. But if, we're also on quite a little hot streak right now. I don't think Caleb Durbin's going to be hitting 362 for the rest of the year. I know Joey O isn't going to keep this up behind the plate. I can confidently say that. So it's a matter of taking this lightning in the bottle, not pocketing it and saving it for later, but containing it and not blowing their load a little bit too early on this season and really getting ready for October. And I think Murph is on the same page as that. When it was the George Webb game, 11-game win streak, everybody's talking about the 12th game. He had Siegler in the lineup. He benches Durbin for that game. I think Montecchio came in late. Murph doesn't care about this 12-game win streak. He is making it known to the guys that we are here for something bigger than getting Milwaukee some George Webb burgers. Before Jacob Mizorowski ever took the mound, he said this is not the Jacob Mizorowski show. I mean, this is full team ball. And the Cheese Twitter account put out a tweet a couple days ago that I thought was pretty cool. It said, how good are these Brewers when the bottom of their order is hitting? Because that's what turns what we've always known as a really strong top 5 guys that can get the bat on the ball and generate some offense. If the bottom 3 guys can hit, this is a team like last night that put up 17 hits last night again in Seattle. 14 of them were singles. I think that's kind of cool. That is as your namesake goes, Brewer ball right there. 14 singles on 17 hits. But I think everybody on the lineup got a hit. Pitching did their job. Priester has been fantastic in allowing a little bit of damage not to get to be too much damage. And that's not very common for a rookie.
Priester's won. The Brewers have won the last 9 Quinn Priester starts.
Everything's feeling good with this Brewers team. Everything's feeling really good.
Yeah, this is as high can get in the regular season, and this is happening. And I'll even make it a little personal here. Like, my life has been crazy recently. I just moved Bree in over here across the state. She's starting her new job. We're looking for houses. I'm helping move my sister-in-law. Like, things are going insane at this point, and this is all while the Milwaukee Brewers are just winning ball game after ball game, and it gets to the point where if the team gets a 2-run lead in the 6th inning, you can shut it off, and I can go worry about other things. And that's the kind of faith that I kind of have in this roster. And even if the opposing team in the 7th inning can come back and even take a lead or make it close, there's just like this faith in how this team has played that they're going to find a way to still win. And this isn't just the 11-game win streak, which, I mean, you can talk about the umpiring in game 12 of that. Maybe that 9th inning is a little bit different if you know.
Isaac Collins at bat is dog water.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wants to go read my mind, go watch the Isaac Collins at bat.
Yeah, you completely take the bat out of his hands, and then the Brewers, it lights a fire under them that they lost 1-0, and then yesterday go out and just absolutely slaughter them around and smack them around the ballpark. This is a team that, like I said, when it started, felt so uninspired, and there was that Jacob Mizorowski coming up. We're getting excited for Brandon Woodruff, and there was just this switch that was flipped, and it's not just with the pitching, because the pitching, some reason, how this season started with everybody hurt, there was a point where there was not a starting pitcher we knew who was going to throw except for Freddie Peralta. And right now, there are 10 guys on the Major League roster that I think I would trust to have in a starting rotation. And it's ridiculous. And it is what this team has continued to do with the pitching coaching and everything. But it's not just the pitching. It's the offense that clicks too. It's the consistency. And you don't have a superstar in that lineup. Yeah, Jackson Churio could be that guy. Yeah, Christian Yelich on a certain night could be that guy. But you look at those numbers, there's not an OPS over 800. There's just, but it's everybody. You are like, and you watch playoff baseball, and the teams that make it are the ones that have the best, worst player. You know what I mean? When it gets deep into it, who's that guy that's hitting 7, 8, or 9 that you don't trust to hit in the top 3, but gives you a little something at the bottom?
So who is that? And I'm going somewhere with this. Who is that for the Brewers? I bet we have the same answer. Who's our 9th best player that we typically roll out?
It's Joey Ortiz this year.
And he is a stud shortstop. The defensive stuff that guy pulls out, he has won some games for us. I mean, he is an absolute monster. I'm fine with 211 if he is making the plays. Maybe 230 will bump it up a little bit, but get some timely hits, which he's had some timely hits. He had an awesome double the other day. But my God, he is a defensive machine, and that's our 9th best player. Consensus, our worst player is a borderline Gold Glove shortstop.
Right, and that's what they do. And you watch Tyler Black come up, and he contributes right away. Anthony Siegler, who was drafted as a flippin' catcher, is playing third base for us on occasion, and he's holding his own over there. Like these guys that step in. Blake Perkins, another guy. Isaac Collins, dude, what is going? Like, it's just how this organization turns players out. And during this win streak, like, it just felt like you turn on the broadcast, and I bring it up again and again. One of my favorite movies of all time is Moneyball, and like that monologue where that team goes on the 22-game win streak or whatever it is, like that starts to play. Like when McGill's out there and he closes it out, he blows it fast. And the Brewers have now won 7 straight. Like these things go through my mind because it does not, it doesn't make sense how this team continues time after time. You can think that they're down. MLB Network can have them going 4th in the division just ahead of the Pirates. You can put their over-under at 80.5 games, and it just doesn't matter. This is Brewer ball. You are watching a movie, and it's just one where I think it might end the same way as actual Moneyball does too, like it does every single year. And you just hope that happy ending comes. And I know this is like a soapbox monologue, like just the Brewers fan hoping that I can get something to hold on to for the rest of my life. That one year that they could go and have that storybook. that actual movie ending. And there's something magical going on. And I saw one Facebook quote, and it's on one of the, I think you have found your way into this Facebook chat as well. The Facebook group, it's Diehard Brewers fans. I think I've seen you pop up here and there.
I've dabbled.
Yeah. It's like a drug. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But the one that I saw is Bob Uecker is the angel in the outfield for this team. And there are, like I said this at the beginning of the season, if there are baseball gods, if that funky stuff happens, you see magic. And right now there are baseball fans, like good baseball fans, that watch it nationally that probably couldn't tell you 6 players that play for the Milwaukee Brewers. But right now, on this day, July 24th, 2025, over 100 games into the season, the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team in Major League Baseball. And it's just the same story over and over again. Is this a team that you feel like has something different from what we saw? Because last year was a blast of a year, too. We had a lot of these conversations when it came to August. Like, is this different?
I don't think so. I think we're building on it. And that's why to start this season, I remember a cheese grader. We had a similar grader. I think you asked me if the Brewers are going to win over 85 games. And I had written down, are they going to win over 95? Because they were 90 plus last year.
Yeah.
And they were young. And there's no reason for them to get worse, you'd think. We got younger, which is weird.
Yeah.
Now we're just rolling out rookies left and right, and it's working out just fine. But like, it was such a shock at the beginning of the year. We knew there was some injury stuff. We talked about that treading water. And then not only did Ricky Weeks bring in that little bit of attitude, I remember saying Christian Yelich needs to remember that he's Christian Yelich because he started the season terrible. I think he had to remind himself, and then he hits that grand slam. I think it was a game-winning grand slam, and he started hitting the ball. Now he's been on base 30 games in a row. Mizorowski showed up. Not that, like, it's a belief thing. It's like, I believe I can, and Andrew Vaughn just thinks that he can. So now all of a sudden he's an absolute monster. And I think that is translating for this whole team. Everybody that sits in that Brewers clubhouse believes that they can do something extraordinary. Tyler Black can show up 3 days into the bigs and get on base. It's the defense is incredible, and they're making teams pay for mistakes. I was listening to I should know his name, the fellow who runs Locked On Brewers, and he was saying the Brewers have got to be the most stressful team to play.
Chuck Freeman.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
They've got to be the most stressful team to play because you can't make a mistake. If you botch something, every single pressure, that third baseman can't be lollygagging a little bit. If you botch a ball and put it in the outfield, now you have a runner on second. And we might bunt him over to third. Now we got a runner on. And it's all because you bobbled one. We're not making those mistakes.
Yeah.
Defensively, we are not making those mistakes. Julio is keeping himself in the lineup with his glove. Toure, we know what he can do. Vaughn has shown us a little bit more jump over at first, and the outfield is always fantastic with the Spurs team. And we're not making mistakes. We're making teams pay for mistakes, and it's kind of what I bet a lot of baseball coaches, high school coaches, are teaching their team and preaching. And get on base, get around, play the right way, know your strike zone, pitch well. But to see it executed at the MLB level, this 17 hits and 14 of them are singles. Is rare, and it's working, I have written down. You're gonna like this. Pat Murphy is the Joe Dirt of Greg Popovich's.
That's good.
He's tapped in, man. He's tapped. He's a little bit freaky, but he's tapped in, man.
You're my sister. Okay. No, that's a great explanation of that. And this is just, it goes on and on. It is the merry-go-round. And that's the video we saw today. It's the Brewers merry-go-round. It's a carnival. They got a little bit of everything. And it's top to bottom. It's how this roster was constructed. And when you talk about roster construction, like I still think that there are ways that this team can improve. And they have such an embarrassment of riches in starting pitching, because the 10 guys that I mentioned before that can start comfortably, You're not taking into account DL Hall, who has a just above 2 ERA right now. You're not looking at Aaron Ashby, who I think I could bring out there as an opener and go 3 or 4 innings. Like there is so much depth here. They can go out and get somebody. Do you think Eugenio Suarez is an actual possibility for this team? Because third base is a big need for like every team in baseball right now that is contending. You take the Yankees, like maybe not the Phillies, but the Cubs are looking, Detroit's looking, Seattle's looking. All these teams need a third baseman. Does Milwaukee get out of its shell and say, hey, we'll give you a Chad Patrick? Because that's what Arizona's looking for. They want a young pitcher with control. Milwaukee, think they go and say, we'll give you a Chad Patrick, we want Gino?
If you asked me before my day on the golf course today, I would have a different answer. But I had some clarity while I was putting for quadruple bogey. And I think we should get Suarez. I want to see it happen, dude. Let's go for it. Let's freaking go. This Brewers team, my entire life, has always had good prospects and a good future and a great plan and bites at the apple. And like, the one time that we said, all right, let's put our chips in and go for it. It was CC and it worked. And it was a spark and it was beautiful. I also love the movie Miracle. And they bring in the kid from Minnesota, and he's supposed to be a stud. And the guys pull the coach off the bus, and they say, Coach, we're a family, man. And McGill came out and said that. He said, we're a family. Like, this is a tight-knit group of guys.
The power of friendship.
The power of friendship. That's what he's saying, man. But dude, Suarez has 37 home runs right now. Let him DH, dude. If we can get a bat in the lineup, my goodness, you can still have power of friendship with 35 extra home runs. I don't think that's such a terrible thing. And I think, Joe Yo isn't going to keep hitting 300. Isaac Collins isn't hitting 360 or anything like that. So I really love these guys. I'm a Durbin fan now. He grew on me. I started doubting him. He's grown on me the past 2 months. Like, I might get his name tattooed on my forehead. Want to see him keep taking cuts. Let's get Monasterio out of here. Like, I don't want to see Monasterio be the guy that we bring in. Let's have that be Durbin. Let's have that be Joey. And if we can go get Suarez, man, I'm all. I had a lot of time on a green today to think about it. I was on that green for quite some time.
Good. I'm glad that's where those thoughts come out. No, we've had those Sunday afternoons before. Like, you don't know what ideas you get, but Sam, I like to say that's a move that can put them over the top. It creates a little bit of a jam towards the fact that we haven't seen Caleb Durbin play shortstop before. I'm not sure. I think he could do it. I mean, we saw Travis Shaw play second base for 2 years. We saw Mike Moustakas at second base for a couple of years. I think you can give up a little bit of what you're looking at for defense to have that extra bat. And
why can't Suarez DH?
Because you want Christian Yelich to stay off of the field. Because I don't need him to pull anything anymore. And he's old man now. I want DH to be his spot. And when you get Sal Frelick back, you don't have much space. Like, there's just, because I think they want to keep Perkins there. I think they want to keep Isaac Collins on the roster.
I'd rather have Yelly in the outfield and in the lineup than Perkins, right?
Well, the odd man out here is probably Joey Ortiz. Like, and that's when you look at a lineup and where you want to maximize offensively, that is the cog that you take out. And Ortiz, he has been producing. Like,
okay.
He's looked good. He's looked a lot better at shortstop as of recent. But you take out the guy that's performing the least. And that guy that you take out of the DH spot, I mean, you also want that spot for William Contreras. You don't want him catching every day. I know you hate it when Eric Haas gets in there, but the more you talk bad about Eric Haas, the more he has a clutch hit as well.
But I think where the Suarez is for a series, like, we're looking for a 3-game series here. That's the move that we're talking. We're talking playoff ball.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if that's the case, you want as many bats in there as possible. I think Joey Ortiz you take out.
Sure. So you want to see it happen?
I don't know. Because I feel like I think I'd get excited about it because, in all honesty, there's so many pitchers here in this rotation. Robert Gasser is making rehab starts, and he is a real major league pitcher. I think he can be a good piece in the future, but there's no space for him. There's no space for Nestor Cortez when he comes back. Everything is such a question mark. You have these pieces that you can trade, and there is a team that will bite, and you can get value on it. Chad Patrick does not give you much value right now. I don't even know how much value he gives in the future because of how much depth you already have. You have minor league pitching that is going to be ready. Coleman Crow's a name we haven't even brought up on this podcast, and I think he could be next year's Chad Patrick or Logan Henderson, a guy that comes in and lights the world on fire. Like, they have such an embarrassment. Go capitalize. Bring in a guy. It's hard to take away anybody's all-star shortstop. That's not going to happen. And it's also going to be hard for the Brewers to compete with the Yankees or the Cubs or the Tigers because those are teams that are going to go very hard and very aggressive, and their owners don't care as much about what you're going to have to pay in terms of giving away prospects or giving away pitching, because I think Atanasio just would want for the team to keep on stacking up on this because in the end it saves them money to just have all of these arms. But I don't know where it comes in the terms of Brandon Woodruff. Like, maybe they worry about that if he can't sign next year because he's getting down to the end of his contract. And they're probably going to, the way he's pitching, you're going to have to pay Brandon Woodruff next year. And I don't know if Atanasio is going to do it. Maybe Woodruff takes a little bit of a cut because he loves Milwaukee, and Milwaukee has treated him very well. I mean, they signed him to a 2-year contract when they knew he was only going to play like just over half a year. So maybe Woodruff takes that into account, takes a cut, and plays for this team again. But other than that, there's just not that many questions when it comes to pitching. So I'd love to see him go out and do something. I think Suarez would add a spark. Like I said, I could also see Suarez just crap in his bed the rest of the year if he comes here, and a little change of scenery, because we've seen that happen before too, where you bring in a guy and he gets cold for those last couple months, and by the time it's the playoffs, you can essentially take the bat out of his hands. Maybe Suarez is one of those guys. Maybe Suarez stays this hot and hits over 50 this year, because if that's the case, yes, go do it. I just don't know if Eugenio Suarez is a 50 home run guy and someone who's this is a vibe thing for me, and the vibes here are, and like I said, now I'm rambling. Chad Patrick isn't worth much. If you can get Suarez, bring him in and see what happens.
Chad Patrick, Tobias Maris, Nestor Cortez, that's got to get you a really good player somehow, some way. I don't care if it's a prospect, if we're just prospect fishing because we don't want to mess with this the 11 guys that are rolling out on a consistent basis.
When you talk about Arizona, they're looking for controllable pitching, like a Cortez or a Quintana. They don't mean anything to them right now because Arizona's going to be in a cell.
Henderson and Chad Patrick, those are both young freaking studs that I'd give up one. I don't know about two. Like half a year of Suarez. And that's where this comes into a conversation. He is an expiring contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a rental. You have him for the end of this year, and that's it. And you're not signing him again because he's going to ask for $30 million next year. So it's you would give up like 11 years of good pitching when you combine both of those players for a half year of Suarez. And we've seen some pretty bad half years of Suarez, I will say. He's a guy who likes to strike out a lot. The defense isn't great, but he hits a lot of home runs, at least right now. I mean, he's on his way to 300. No, he might even be well over 300. He's played a long time, but he's your power, not great defense, not great contact. But this year, nobody was expecting what he's doing. But the thing is, everybody needs a third baseman, and he's going to be the guy on the market. So we'll keep things up to date as the trade deadline moves along here and creeps a little bit closer for the Brewers. But if there is a time to go and capitalize on this young roster that is going and playing their hearts out and playing as good a ball as you could imagine, you go and you pull the trigger now and you do it this year. I like Mizorowski's there. This might be Woodruff's last year in Milwaukee. Things are culminating. Yelich doesn't get any younger after this. You have the guys. You have Mizorowski. You're going to pitch him. Churio's going to get hot this second half. Like, the guys are there. You have the horses, and maybe one more gets you across the finish line before everybody else.
But we're already the best record in baseball, which is so cool.
Don't mean nothing until you get to October. And that's how I feel about all this. I can only get so high on this team because I have had my heart ripped out too many times, Sam. And this team could win 100 games this year, and they could go on and they could lose the first series. I could see that happen, and it's going to hurt me just as bad. But if they could go and win 85 games, sneak into the playoffs, and get all the way to the World Series, I'm never going to stop telling my grandkids about it. That's where we're at. So right now, they're getting their job done. Just got to find a way to get it done in October. And I think Suarez, that could be a guy. You give me 2 hits in October, he's worth the Chad Patrick. 2 big home runs in October, that's worth the Chad Patrick. I'll say that right now. Want to switch over to Green Bay. I was driving around Green Bay today, going around the stadium. So I had to co-travel with one of my coworkers, and she was trying to get a hotel, and I didn't think about it, but this is the first week of training camp, and there was 1 hotel room in the city of Green Bay, and I didn't think about that. But it's kind of been popping around the city. Not a whole lot of news except for Zach Tom signing a huge contract, 4 years, $88 million. Was it over $30 million guaranteed here, Sam?
I didn't pull up the guaranteed number. I'm sure it's a little higher than 30, but the 30 number is the signing bonus, yes, which is not normal, especially for a team like the Packers. So that signing bonus is money that hits the account right away. As soon as he signed that contract, he made $30.2 million out of his 4 for 88. So really, it just comes down to like a 4 for 58 on the books. But that signing bonus has to be in the bank account. That's why you see the Cowboys a lot of times have like the highest paid player in the league, because a big chunk of that, Jerry Jones can just cut a check. The Bengals might be having problems right now signing some of these guys because their ownership group doesn't have the liquidity to cut a $30 million check. Now they own a football team and all that, but sometimes that does, they're tied up in business and that's net worth and stuff like that. So it's not always as simple as just cutting the check. And that's why it's unique for the Packers to be able to have a $30 million signing bonus to get Zach Tom, who deserves the spot, has earned the spot. I'm stoked he's coming back. And man, it becomes a really team-friendly deal after that signing bonus, man. He's making it's like $22 million a year. I think Wirfs is at $28 million a year. That's kind of like, if you want a really stud left tackle, you're looking for 25, and the fact the Packers just got someone right tackle. Packers just got someone for 22 it's Wisconsin, baby. I mean, John Horst did it all year. They must have been watching a little bit of John Horst tape. I love it. It's a team friendly deal. And he's so good. He's so good.
Yes. Zach Tom is a guy that deserves it as, I think, a 4th-round draft pick. It's a very David Bakhtiari story here with Zach Tom, the guy that worked his butt off, was drafted late, probably fell a little bit farther than he should have. Green Bay took a flyer on him and becomes this Pro Bowl tackle. And he's earned every cent of that $30 million already. And now when you take that into account, this contract, very team-friendly. I think it is he's the second highest paid offensive tackle in Green Bay history, just behind Bakhtiari, and very well deserved. Congratulations, Zach Tom. This is great. Locking down the near side of, not the blind side, but the near side of Jordan Love for the next 5 years and hopefully more.
He is
Bo Melton.
Is the 9th highest paid tackle per year. And I think he's much better than in the entire NFL after this contract.
Okay.
He's right after Jake Matthews of the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, that puts it into perspective here, the kind of money he's getting. But that signing bonus, that means a lot to these guys. Like you look at a guy like Bakhtiari, he had a big signing bonus too. Green Bay can go out and they can do this. And they did it once again with Tom because they don't have to hear from shareholders or anything because they're owned by the city. Like, it's not an owner that's controlling things and worried about liquidity. You give them the signing bonus. Then the rest of that money, that's incentive based. And it's how long he plays. So going in and locking $30 million, huge for Zach Tom. Congratulations. Quick note: Bo Melton is now a cornerback. We'll talk about that on some other episode, some other day. Let's shift over to the cheese grater. 3 quick questions for each of us. I will give you the first one here, Sam. And this is over the whole landscape. You talk Brewers, Badgers, Packers, Bucks. Which Wisconsin sports team are you most excited for in the next 5 years? I might have given you this question before, but the answers may have changed over recent time. I know it's not the Badgers.
So it's not the Badgers. That is my one confident answer. If you ask me which domestic beer I like the best, it's just not. Oh, I shouldn't say this, but it's just not Miller Lite. Like how the Bud Light, Busch Light, High Life, any of those, I'm fine with. It's just not Miller Lite. So this answer is not the Badgers. Look, the Brewers are still a really young team. I think Murph is a dog. He's on a Popovich. I already got a Popovich comp today.
Wow.
And it's really only going up for here from the Brewers. The Packers, we're just about to see Jordan Love, our guy, get into his prime over the next 5 years. We're going to see what we gave up Aaron Rodgers for. We were still the youngest team for 2 years in a row as a playoff team. Packers are going to have bites at the apple, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be 5 more years of Giannis, and those are 5 years that I'm not going to take for granted. I'm a fan of Giannis. He's going to be an early MVP front runner for next year. So I'm all aboard Wisconsin sports, baby. Go Bucks. If I got to pick one, go Bucks.
Okay, no bias there at all.
Home run derby tomorrow in Milwaukee. Some of the boys are coming back to town. Who you got? Who's going to win it?
I watched Ryan Braun take batting practice last week, and there is no way that man is losing a home run derby. Braun's got it. It's in the bag. I mean, Fielder could. I know he was taking batting practice. I know he had the neck surgery, and he had to retire from baseball because of it. Don't know how much that hinders him, but I think those two are going to go after. Gomez still has to have a great swing, right? He's got to light it up. Is Richie Sexton going to be there? Is Richie Sexton taking swings?
My God, dude, I hope he takes about 10. That might be his limit. He break his back once as a Brewer already.
Is that going to be televised? The home run derby?
It is locally. It is going to be televised locally for sure. I heard that being talked about.
Is it going to be on Fox? Well, FanDuel Sports 2 companies ago. Is it going to be on FanDuel?
I'll have to talk to my FanDuel guy. I'm not sure about that. I heard
yeah, that's right.
Radio.
Sam's not really a FanDuel subscriber. They don't pay us. Nobody pays us. Yeah, I got Ryan Braun. Who do you got?
I like Braun too. I think Fielder can give him a run, but I think Braun's just going to have a little bit more stamina after a few of them. Hey, hitting home runs is hard. That's why it's like, it's an athletic thing. So
Braun looks good too.
He does.
Like, Braun's been working out. He looks really good. The wrist still flick there.
Both of these guys are just natural hitters. I bet when they're not going to be hitting dingers when they're 80, but they'll be able to barrel something up. They're natural hitters. That's why they were studs. Were they both rookie of the years?
If they weren't, they should have been. I think Fielder might have lost his to like Ryan Howard or something like that, but I know Braun won it.
Braun was for sure. It'll be fun though.
Yeah, I know Fielder was top 3 MVP voting like multiple times. So those are 2 of the best hitters in all of baseball, and they're in the same lineup. That totally made my childhood. Man, that team was so fun anytime those 2 guys were there. What is your favorite online sports argument you've had? I mentioned that I saw you kind of getting into it with some people on the Facebooks. I know I've been guilty of that as well. Sometimes people just don't understand basic baseball or basketball or football. But I know you've got to have one that just sticks out that you could share. Maybe not the language that you would have used in that.
I do. Oh yeah, on Twitter, I'm pretty curt and to the point on the old X.com. I am such a believer in John Horst that whatever he does, whatever he has cooking, I am standing on that hill. of John Horst support. So when we waive Dame and we agree to pay somebody not on the roster for $22.5 million, I'm a fan of it, dude. I support John Horst and what he does. And I've definitely had a few back and forth saying, what are the Bucks doing this offseason? I'm like, yeah, they figure it out. They'll figure out, like, Horst has done this for 5, 6, as long as he's been running this team, as long as we've been, taking whacks at it with Giannis. Guys show up on great deals, and we end up getting pieces around Giannis. And so for somebody to, at this point, start questioning what John Horst is about to do in the offseason, it just feels like, I don't know, read a book, go touch some grass, and figure out what John Horst has been doing ever since he's been in charge.
Fair enough. I like it.
That's my 2 cents. If you're fighting with John Horst, you're fighting with me. Who has the most playoff losses in NFL history?
Oh. This has to be Peyton Manning comes to mind. That's
As a team.
Oh, team.
What team has the most losses in NFL history?
Most playoff losses. Well, you would have to go and take a team that has consistently made the playoffs. And that's it. So the Packers would be a good answer, but there was like some real dead time in the 70s and 80s. So that will not be my answer. The Patriots, they've had the last 30, but not really too much before that. The Bears still suck. You know what? I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have the most losses.
That is not the answer. The bums to the west of us, Minnesota Vikings, have the most losses in playoff NFL history.
You know what? That crossed my mind. I can't take credit for it, but holy cow. Yeah, I mean, if
you were on the right path, somebody that makes the playoffs but does nothing for it. You know who does nothing in the playoffs better than the Vikings? Nobody.
Hey, if I was choking for that long, I'd be purple too. That was one of my dad's favorites. So shout out, Jeff. Are you ready for Dug Down?
Man, I'm so ready for Dug Down. Hey, all 1 million subscribers right here. There's a party at Who's on Third this Saturday. It's round 3. I've been getting my my DJ buddies together, and it's going to be a fun night, man. Dave, our boss man, unfortunately said no to the girls on the polls, but it's still going to be a good night. It's at Who's on Third this Saturday night from 10 to 1. We got some awesome local talent coming out.
What about my blackjack and craps table? Are those going to be in the back? We get those. We get dealers.
We're gonna have some tricks there. We're gonna have some tricks. That's for darn sure. Right.
I'll be there too. So come argue with me while Sam's going crazy.
I love it. I might just pop over to argue about something too. Yeah, I love it, man. Running quarterbacks. We could dig into that a little bit.
Let's do it. At the Dug Down Saturday. Who's on third? Be there.
Should Jordan Love be running for more than 50 yards a game this season?
you know.
That's my third question. Screw it. Should Jordan Love be running for more than 40 yards a game this season? I'll switch to 40.
Jordan Love should be a pocket passer. You just drafted a big offensive line. You just signed your right tackle. You're paying him to be in the pocket. He does not need to be running. Josh Jacob is supposed to be running. Marshawn Lloyd is supposed to be running. Heck, Tucker Kraft can do a heck of a lot of running. Jordan Love can roll out of the pocket. Don't need to go past that line of scrimmage. And that's where we can leave it. You can argue with Sam more or me more when it comes on Saturday at the Dug Down. We'll see you guys there. If not, we'll see you next week for another edition of A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast.